Hello, listeners, and welcome to Quad Pro Quo. Right now, you are probably thinking to yourself, oh great, another movie podcast. Well, dear listener, you would be right. But throw in a couple of marriages, decades-long friendships, and a shared property line, and you have just another movie podcast with a shitload of drama. Inspired by the iconic quid pro quo scene in Silence of the Lambs, each week, one of us will pick a movie. It could be a childhood favorite, a classic film noir, an Academy Award winner, or a complete dumpster fire that brings joy to that person's heart. The selector's objective? To get us to love, or at the very least, not hate their pick. Will our marriages, our friendships, and our neighborhood survive? Find out each Thursday on Quad Pro Quo.
This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Deluxe Edition. I am your host, Casey Shearer. Joining me, as always, he is an experiment in terror, L. Ray Sexton.
What's going on, Casey?
Not much, buddy. How are you?
Having a wonderful Sunday, just like every other Sunday, you know?
Do you know how hard it is for me to come up with something new each week to say about you?
I do. I don't know why. It's not that hard. You just say the first thing that pops into your head.
I look around my room. That's the saying for high desert kill that we talked about with Mark last week.
Yeah, you're just reading off the back of boxes now, huh?
Yeah, and
with me as always, he's always after me, Lucky Charms.
I had to cut it out. If you want to hear the unedited version of our Mark Singer episode, head over to our Patreon channel. I'm surprised Mark didn't correct me. I actually said that movie with Chuck Connors that you were in, and I can't remember it now offhand, but I know it was a Steven Seagal movie that I said. And I edited it, so nobody will actually know what it was or when it was unless they sign up for our Patreon channel, because I edited it out. But yeah, I'm surprised you didn't catch that either.
Nah, I was too busy paying attention to Mark to focus on what you were talking about, you know?
All right, I have no idea what we're doing this week. Ray is going to be in charge here in a couple minutes. Let me just do the house cleaning, and then I'll turn it over to Ray. We are a part of the Deluxe Edition Network. You can find all of the other great shows over at deluxeeditionnetwork.com. And the podcast of the month this month is Quad Pro Quo. Go check them out. They're a couple of neighbors that talk about movies. And you can go find Ray over on Instagram at Deluxe Edition Pod. He handles all of the Instagram duties over there. If you'd like to support the show, you can head over to patreon.com/deluxe edition pod. Find the unedited versions of our show over there. If you'd like to buy a t-shirt, head over to whatamaneuver.net/collection/deluxe-edition. What else, Ray?
You can head over to Facebook, join our Facebook group, which is basically the topic for today's show. is some of the stuff that's been going on over there on our Facebook group. I do a lot of polls. And Casey asked me the other day, "Did you ever look at those?" And I said, "Not really. Why?" So what's the point? So we're actually going to do something with those today.
Very cool. Very cool. And Ray has some other bootleg shirts over at tpublic.com. And then I will put this long link in the description also. So I'm not going to say all those numbers and whatnot.
Yeah. Basically, if you go to TeePublic, you can just punch in 10 Cent Beer Night Podcast and it goes to my store. So there's the easy link. If it works. If it works. I don't know. I haven't tried it in a while.
Yeah, no, it works because I actually ordered a shirt. If you go over to our Instagram where Ray handles that, I had Ray post a picture of me in our bootleg tank top that we've been trying to get the women to wear, but I got one for working out. So it's a great shirt, good quality stuff.
Mm-hmm. We miss anything there, Casey?
No, I think that's it, buddy. If you want to see the rest of our shows you can go to deluxeedition.show. You can find all of our previous shows over there in one spot, links to everything, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm. All right. You ready?
Yeah, buddy.
All right. So, I love to make polls. I love to get people voting on just dumb shit. So we're going to start off with an easy one for you. All right.
All right.
There's this awesome video from the 80s with this hot chick who's singing about walking like an Egyptian. And the poll was, have you ever walked like an Egyptian? And the answers are, yes, I have walked like an Egyptian. And no, I'm a party pooper. Overwhelmingly, people were like, yes, I have walked like an Egyptian. There were a few people who haven't, but mostly everybody has. Have you, Casey, walked like an Egyptian?
I have walked like an Egyptian.
And was it while that song was playing?
Most likely, yes.
Or at least, you're humming it in your head.
I'm gonna lie. That's not the song that I walked like an Egyptian to. I don't know the name of the song right now, and you'll probably be able to tell me. Steve Martin does an Egyptian song.
Oh, yeah, King Tut.
King Tut.
Yeah.
That is the song that I walked like an Egyptian to.
Hey, close enough. It is a good one, though. He does a lot of that. Yeah. Steve Martin. He's funny as shit.
Yeah.
That's where Bowling for Soup's name comes from. One of his skits.
Really?
Yeah, it's called Bowling for Shit. And in the early days, they realized we're not going to get very many shows named like Bowling for Shit. So they just changed it to Bowling for Soup.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's a nice little tie-in trivia thing for you.
Yeah.
Been desperately trying to get that guy to come on the show for a couple of years now.
One day, buddy. One day.
Maybe if I throw a little trivia about Bowling for Soup his way, it'll entice him a little bit to know we're not the enemy over here.
We'll get him.
Yeah, eventually. So another really easy one was I posed the question, should we start doing movie reviews? And people said, yeah. So we got to start coming up with some movies to review.
Okay.
So I'm going to try and find ones that you haven't seen.
Well, right. There's a plethora of movies I have not seen. The new episode of the one of the podcasts on the network, Barrel Aged Flicks, our good buddies, they do every Wednesday they do a tasting room episode where they do a top 5 list. And the last one that they just did, they had Spoil My Movie on, also another podcast on our network. Mm-hmm. And dude, there's like almost every movie that they named on that episode. I was like, yep, I can check that one off. I still haven't seen that one. I haven't seen that.
Well, they did recommend one. I forget what it was, but they were arguing back and Barrel Age Flicks guys were arguing back and forth. It's a Rutger Hauer movie, so it can't be that bad. and that's the one they want us to start with. So
Okay.
we'll have to find out where we can watch it and see if it's any good for ourselves. Yeah, I don't mind doing movie reviews. I just don't want anybody to get mad at us when we just like, aren't the greatest fucking movie reviewers that ever walked the earth.
That was always why I leaned more towards doing the interview style
Oh,
shows.
That's why we do the
Because
interviews. Yeah.
there's not too much. Like, why would anyone care about my opinion about something?
Fuck, I don't even care about our opinion.
Like, well, I don't really have an opinion on most things.
I was thinking maybe we could dress up like Siskel and Ebert, make it real fancy, maybe get some music like they got or whatever. We could give it like, different rankings, like 2 fingers up if it's good or stuff like that.
Yeah, we could think of something.
Something like that. But yeah, so as bonus content, because we already have a good thing going with these interviews, because like you said, it's super easy and we don't have to come up with a cool topic.
Yeah.
Like you said, you get 3 years into something like this and you're like, all right, short of setting one of us on fire, what the fuck's left to do here? I could pay your girlfriend to sneak up and dump a bucket of water over your head or something like that for shits and giggles.
See, that's the difference between me and you. You see how you have that door behind you?
Mhm.
I never, and I don't know if I don't know why this is. I don't know if it's because my dad was a Marine or what. I never sit with my back to a door.
Well, if you sit with your back to the door and someone comes in and murders you, you don't have to go to work the next day. So I don't see how that's a bad thing, Casey.
I at least want to see it coming. I want to.
I'd kind of rather not. I mean, if they're going to sneak up on me, that's kind of considerate on their part, I think. They come barreling through the front door, guns blazing. I see it coming, like, God damn it! You make a half-ass attempt to get away from them. Just sneak up on me, bash me over the fucking head, put me out of my misery.
Please don't kill Ray.
Well, at least while we're on the show, I can see him coming because I can see it on screen, and I'll be like, "Who the hell is that? Why
What
do they
the
have?
fuck is it?
Is that a Garrote in his hand?"
I can guarantee our ratings would go up then.
All right, so we got a couple other fun topics. Let's see here. Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase, better movie, Spies Like Us or Nothing But Trouble? Once again, Spies Like Us killed Nothing But Trouble.
Nothing But Trouble is a good movie, though.
Oh, it's a great movie.
It's a really good movie.
But the Spies Like Us has some of the best lines.
Oh, yeah. You're not going to get anything better than the two of them trying to cheat at that test.
Well,
Don't one of them have a piece of something in their mouth and he's trying to roll it out? Like
yeah. Got it on the eye patch. He's stretching it out to read it and puts it. Yeah. I think my favorite line in the whole thing is when they've got Chevy tied to the chair and he's like, every 10 minutes or something, we're going to cut a finger off. And Chevy looks at him and goes, yours or mine?
Chevy Chase. We could do a run of Chevy Chase movies reviews.
We could do that. That's easy. I think we should probably just start with Spies Like Us then.
That would be good.
That's easy.
I always wanted to do a podcast called Burt, and then just run down starting at the very beginning of Burt Reynolds' career and just run through all of his movies.
Well, that's cool. I had that idea for the movie Nazis, where we pretend to be Germans, Gunther Glauben and Glauten Globen, and we rate movies, and we just yell at people about how great the movie is until they agree with us. And then at the end, we give every movie a 9.99 out of 10. I don't think the name would fly, though. It's the censors.
No, probably not.
So my idea got shot down. But I did.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'd say like early 90s, even early 2000s, we could have still done that.
Yeah.
If podcasting was a thing back then.
Yeah. I wish it would have been. I wouldn't have wasted my time lugging amps up staircases and shitty clubs for $20 and a burrito.
I did this. Well, I didn't have to lug anything, but I did the same thing with wrestling.
Yeah.
Here's your hot dog.
Yeah, here's your hot dog. We played this one thing up in Michigan. Drove forever to get there. By the time we got there, it was all dark and shit. And like, there's the food tent. And I kid you not, Casey, it was a tray of water with hot dogs floating in it that'd been out all fucking day. I was like, yeah, you're fucking kidding me. This is the food? All right, then.
Boiled hot dogs. Cold boiled hot dogs.
Cold boiled hot dogs that had been out in the fucking summer for like 6 hours.
How many did you have?
3. Starving.
A long drive.
It's a long drive. I had to eat something. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Checking out my list. Yeah. Let's do this one next. Kurt Russell's best movie. There's a bunch of choices. And The Thing eventually was the winner, which I kind of agree. I mean, I love Kurt Russell. He's got a shit ton of good movies too. Big Trouble in Little China was really up there. I was surprised Captain Ron didn't get any votes because that's another sleeper that deserves more love. But what are you gonna do?
How did Bone Tomahawk do on the list? Was that on the list? It
did not fare well. I don't think it got a vote. No.
That's a good one.
Hey, it's no Overboard, buddy.
There's also quite a few Kurt Russell movies I haven't seen.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of movies, but if I only see them once, I have to see things like a bunch of times in order to remember things. And I've also done like a shitload of drugs over the years that make me forget a lot of stuff. And like maybe I was watching a movie while I was doing drugs also, so that probably didn't help.
Not that I condone drug use, but if you're ever going to watch the cartoon Alice in Wonderland, you should drop some acid before you watch it.
I may or may not have done that.
It's a good time, I'll tell you. All right, let's see here. What do we got here? What is this? Oh, best Rocky opponent. This one kind of surprised me because I thought for sure that Drago was going to take this category. Just for his iconic, if he dies line, I'll crush you, all that good shit. The training montages of Rocky running through the snow with a fucking railroad tie over his head while Drago's in, the pristine room with the equipment, getting the steroids and all that. But Apollo Creed comes out on top, which kind of surprised me. But, Apollo's, he's got 2 movies. He's in 1 and 2. And he's got that scene where they're playing Living in America, and he's got the American flag, top hat, and he's dancing around. It's a good outfit. So
not only that, but his character also produced. Well, his character then has a son who is now in 3 other movies.
Yeah,
like that series, the Rocky series, Sylvester Stallone, like what he's done with just that character is incredible. Like. How many Rocky movies were there? 6? There's 6, 5 or 6.
There's 5 when you get up to Tommy Gun. There's 5. 6 would be what the hell they call that one? Balboa or whatever.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So there were 6.
6. Then you get the Creeds.
Then the Creed, yeah. So 6, 6, 7, 8, 9.
There's like 9 of them fucking things.
Yeah, I mean it's incredible. And they're all. I haven't seen Creed 3 yet, but Creed 1 and 2 were. I thought they were really good, solid movies.
I think they're all solid movies. Are they typical of when they came out? Late 70s for the first one, and the next ones are all set in the 80s, basically. But it kind of does show how life was kind of back in the 80s with. Just how it's filmed. I love watching the 80s stuff in the 70s because somebody will walk over to a phone hanging on a wall with a cord. Hey, buddy. Hey, what's going on? And then they got to tell everybody else in the room what the hell they're doing, who was on the phone. I like that stuff.
Yeah.
that leads us to
So,
the next question.
I would also agree with that. Apollo Creed is the most iconic Rocky character by far.
So tying into Stallone, the next question.
I have a little bit more to say about Rocky though.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. So, do you know anything about you mentioned Ivan Drago.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard anything about Dolph Lundgren also doing a spin-off movie? And then I heard there was a lawsuit going on between him and Sylvester Stallone because he didn't have the rights to the character. Do you know anything about this?
What were they going to do? Like a prequel?
No, like about because his son. Then remember, his son was in one of the movies. His son's in Creed. His son is in the Creed movie. He fights Apollo's son.
Hey, as long as Stallone can get his fingers into it, it'll be fine.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He didn't like. He was. That's why he's suing because he didn't have anything to do with it.
Well, I can see how does something like that even get made though? Did Dolph just tell everybody, "Oh yeah, Sly, he's all in on this. Look, I have his signature on this piece of paper right here. Says he's okay." And then they just make a whole movie, and everyone just takes it on Dolph Lundgren's word.
Yeah, I'm not sure if anything ever happened, if it ever went into production or anything. We'll have to look into that, and then we'll talk about that at a later date.
Mm-hmm.
We do have some more interviews coming up in the next couple of weeks, but then when we do another show, we'll talk about that again.
Yeah. So another poll: better actor, Stallone or Schwarzenegger?
My opinion, Sylvester Stallone.
Well, that's who actually won the poll. So you got to kind of look, they've both got iconic characters. Schwarzenegger, I think, a little stiffer in the acting. He's Conan. Doesn't have
the thing is, like, he never really had to act. He was that big, and he always played that character. Terminator. Did he ever even say a word in the first Terminator?
I believe he says, "I'll be back," and he says, "Give me your clothes."
Right. Yeah, that's right.
I believe that's Bill Paxton actually, and it's one of the guys that's in that.
You're right. Yeah, I mean he just had to look big, and I mean he's even though he might not be the better actor or have that many lines, the lines that he did have are iconic. I'll be back, and
and I think by the time you get to like the Running Man and Total Recall, his acting has gotten a lot better by that point.
Oh, for sure.
And I think Stallone, even though he was the better actor, I kind of sometimes wonder if Arnold didn't have the better movies by the mid-90s, by the 90s, basically.
Well, that's another thing. Sylvester Stallone, he made his own career. He wrote Rocky, and he made all those movies. Like he wasn't. I don't think he was really getting that many acting gigs. I could be way wrong on that, and that's why he wrote Rocky for himself. I don't know if that's true or not. I just might have made that up. But Sylvester Arnold had that look. You know what I mean? Like he was
that big dude that they were just like, all right. That's the great story about what the hell is that stupid one? Stop or My Mom Will Shoot that Stallone did.
Mm-hmm.
So Arnold was offered it, and he didn't want to do it, but he wanted to trick Sly into taking it because he knew it was going to be a shitty movie. So he had it floated around that he was thinking about taking that movie. So then Sylvester Stallone heard he was going to do that movie, so he jumped on the chance and he did it, and it's a fucking horrible pile of shit.
That's awesome. Those dudes are always back and forth, and now that the internet is around, like to see them like just I'm sure they're great friends, but like to see them busting each other's balls on the internet is so great.
It's fun. At this point they're older, they're calmed down. Could you imagine those two though going at it like that? It seems like Stallone had a lot more problems back in the day too, because he's originally supposed to be in Beverly Hills Cop instead of Eddie Murphy. And he came back and rewrote the whole fucking thing. And they were like, we don't want to do that. This is a comedy. He's like, no, it's an action thriller now. And they're like, nah, man, we'll get Eddie Murphy. Fuck it. So he takes that script and he turned it into Cobra.
Oh, shit.
That's where
He wrote
Cobra.
Cobra too?
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Holy
But
shit.
he was like, this is Beverly Hills Cop. And they're like, "Get the fuck out of here. We're putting bananas and tailpipes over here."
Have you seen the Arnold documentary on Netflix?
I have not.
It's so good, man. It's like incredible. Really, really good. Like from what he came from to what he is now, just incredible. And before I didn't even know. There's one little spoiler. He was like really, really wealthy before he became a movie star. He was big into real estate. Like he owned like a lot of apartment buildings and all kinds of stuff even before he got into acting.
They say that's an easy way to make money.
Yeah.
Buy buildings, rent them out, ignore people's calls for help, and then evict them if they don't pay you anyways. I mean, that's an easy way to make a lot of money.
Yep.
Let's see here. Here's a good one. Which car would you rather own? The Mystery Machine or the Ecto-1?
Probably the Ecto-1.
Now, see, I was with the majority who voted on this and said the Mystery Machine.
But do people list the reason as to why or no?
No, all you do is check the button. I mean, technically, you could make a comment in this, the comment section. I just think it would be really cool to get me a big dumb dog and dress up like Fred and drive around that thing. Just going into grocery stores and stuff.
So you're cosplaying also along with your vehicle.
Yep. And I'd make people run around in ghost masks so I could tie them up and pull it off and say, let's see who's behind this hijinks at the grocery store today. Who's the Monster Energy drink thief? Oh, I could catch shoplifters, tie them up, put a mask on them, and wait for the cops to show up and go, let's see who was stealing that candy bar. Got you. It's just a normal human, like I suspected all along.
I don't know. I had the I was a big fan of Scooby-Doo when I was a kid, but I had the all the Ghostbusters toys and all that stuff, the Ecto-1, and I always liked that car. And now I own a Subaru Outback, which is like the station wagon of today, I guess, right? Sort of.
Yeah, we could paint it. We could paint that up to look like Ecto-1.
You want me to turn my Subaru into the Ecto?
Yeah. You could just drive that there in town looking like the Ecto-5 or whatever you want to name it.
Ecto-6.
Yeah, a lot of people probably comment, but since I really don't go back and read any of these things till I had to, I was like,
till we had nothing to do this week.
Yeah, we had nothing going on. Let's see. Best character in the movie Aliens. You got Ripley, you got Hicks, Hudson, Newt, Bishop, Vasquez, Burke. Ellen Ripley won, which not a big surprise. I mean, she is the main character in the movie.
Which one was Tom Skerritt's character? What was his name?
Tom Skerritt.
He was in the original.
Did he die in the first one?
Probably, yeah.
So he probably isn't in the sequel.
Aliens is the sequel. You're right.
Yeah, the good one.
The good one. Yeah, he's not in the second one. There's a lot of good people in the second one. I don't know if I've ever seen the second one.
Well, it's pretty cool. I'll give you a review. It's about this chick who's in space, and for fuck's sake, there's more aliens. It's kind of like the first one, but now you got a little girl who's running around in the walls, like the people under the stairs. She's all in the walls and shit, and the aliens can't find her for some reason. I guess she's not big enough of a snack yet. And then you got like the iconic Paxton once again throwing out lines like "drop your linen and start your grinning." I mean, he's my favorite in the movie. He plays Private Hudson, and I think he's the best in the movie. But the unwashed public voted, and Ripley wins. I mean, she's all right. when filming started, I would have swapped her and Bill Paxton and made him the star of the movie. That would have made an impact. Halfway through the movie, Ripley gets ripped apart by aliens. That would have made an impact. And then the ass who says all the weird shit is all of a sudden the only one who survives. That would have been a great movie.
I'll have to watch them. I own them all.
Huh?
I buy a lot of movies that I want to watch. I just never have time to watch them.
Do you even take the plastic off of them? Or
Yeah,
you just
I open them, look at them.
go, there's another one. There's another one on the shelf from the plastic. No need to
See all these.
no need to dust.
I have the entire Universal Monsters set here.
Still on the wrapper, I bet.
No, it's open. Just gotta watch them.
So, have you ever seen those movies?
Oh yeah, I've seen a lot of the Frankenstein ones. Yeah.
That seems weird that you would buy them if you'd never seen them.
Yeah, no, I've seen, and like the Abbott and Costello ones, I've seen all those.
Yeah, those are good too.
Real good.
Abbott and Costello are funny. I like them. But anyways, we just got a movie not too long ago, Valentine Bluff.
Yes.
I'd actually already seen it before they gave it to us, which I recommend that movie. We'll put that on our list of things to review too, since we got a copy of it.
Yeah, we could actually probably get the writer, director, all that stuff on here too.
Yeah, that would be good. Like I said, I've already seen it, so I'll rewatch it and take some notes, like I did just now on Aliens for you.
Valentine Bluffs is just for anyone listening and wondering what it is before we review it in a few weeks. It's a fan film prequel. Is it a prequel?
I don't think it was a prequel.
No, it's a sequel.
I thought it was a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a sequel.
Yeah. To what movie?
Ticket. My Bloody Valentine.
My Bloody Valentine. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I was an associate producer on that.
You were. I took a screenshot of it when I was actually watching it the first time and sent it to you and said, "Look at you, fancy pants." I believe our buddy Peter. I think he's listed on there too.
Yep, Peter Anthony. Yeah.
Yeah, Peter Anthony. He's an executive producer.
Yep.
In charge of something. I don't know what, but so I threw this one out there on the Facebook poll too. Best modern day magician.
I saw this. I remember this one.
David Blaine, Chris Angel, David Copperfield, or Penn Jillette.
I was wondering about this because Penn Jillette got a lot more votes than I thought he should have.
Why? He's the best magician.
He's not, dude. David Copperfield is the best magician of our generation.
Oh, just because he made the Statue of Liberty disappear?
Yeah, because he was the guy. He was the one. He was the one that made it big.
Yes, but Penn Jillette has the best delivery out of all
what
four.
What does he do? Like couple card tricks and stuff, right?
But did you see the video I posted the other day of him tricking that chick?
No.
So he's got a string, okay?
Okay.
And he pulls it and he stuffs it in his thing so it's sticking out. What you can't see is he has another one behind his ear. So he cuts it. He goes, one. He throws it, grabs the next one, pulls it back down. They pull it back out. It's not cut. So he, takes it, starts doing it again. He's got a whole pocket of them little ones. So as he reaches into his pocket, he pulls out a short one, cuts the short one. Now as he's doing it, he's going 1, 2, tucks the one behind his ear, and he pulls it back down. It's all one piece again. And he just keeps doing this. But he's throwing them over his shoulder. So there's like a pile of them damn things behind him, and she has no idea. Delivery is everything with magic, and he's funny. I have never heard David Copperfield did not tell one joke when he made the Statue of Liberty disappear.
Magicians, they base their entire lives on lies.
Yeah,
I've never been a real huge fan of magicians, but Now that we're talking about magicians and especially magician comics, do you remember the Amazing Jonathan?
Yep.
That dude was cool.
Yeah,
Until he got addicted to meth.
I was gonna put him on there, but then I was also gonna put Willow from the movie Willow, just as a see if anybody would vote for him as a good magician. But because he made that pig disappear at the fair.
I saw Willow when I was a child. I remember we used to always taunt my cousin Shane because he was afraid of some character in Willow. I can't remember which character, but we like every time I would go over to their house, I would always, "Hey, are we gonna watch Willow today?" Because he hated Willow.
Huh. So you're saying he's afraid of little people?
He was. I don't know if he was afraid of I'm not sure if it was him that he was afraid of. It might have been another character.
It wasn't Val Kilmer because nobody's afraid of him. He's fun.
I don't remember.
Yeah, that is weird that you can't remember anything except that little tidbit of information about Willow. All right, then. So anyways, I threw this one out there. Better character, Indiana Jones or Captain Jack Sparrow? What do you think?
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, he murdered him. Yeah. Completely destroyed him. But I have to ask you this. Now that the Dial of Dysentery has been out, does that hurt Indiana Jones's status as an action hero because they treat him like a piece of garbage old man in that movie?
No, because I haven't seen that one yet, so it doesn't.
Well, once you see it, you're going to say to yourself, all right, well, Captain Jack's got what, five movies under his belt now? And they didn't turn him into an old bumbling curmudgeoner yet.
No, he was constantly drunk.
Right. So he already had a leg up on him there. Indy wins, but now there's doubt because of this last movie for me, where they made him not so cool at the end. I don't like it. I didn't like what they did to Indy.
Have you written a letter?
A strongly worded letter was sent in the mail to both Kathleen Kennedy, Mangold, Lucasfilms, the president, the head of the Secret Service. I sent many letters out, Casey. Do you know how much a fucking stamp costs now?
Over 40 cents, right?
Yeah. So I had to take all the letters, put them in one envelope addressed to Mangold, and tell him to pass them out to the others.
Please distribute these accordingly.
Goddamn stamps, man. So yeah, I think Indy is the better character, just because I wish it was like the old days where they just made a movie every year, like just crank them things out. Because that brings us to the next question, which was, I'm a big fan of Chris Columbus's Monkey God script. I think that movie would have been awesome if they'd have made it. So I decided let's throw it up as a poll. Would you rather see Indiana Jones and the Monkey God starring Leonardo DiCaprio? So the movie will be set back in the 30s, as all good pulp action movies should be. Would you rather see The Adventures of Short Round as an adult? Would you rather see another spinoff with the Helena character from the new movie? Or would you rather just see the franchise end?
Me personally, I would like to see the Leo gimmick.
Me too. And the franchise won this one. I didn't see that coming. I thought maybe people would be like, I love me some Short Round. Let's get that guy back.
Yeah.
But you know who didn't get no vote?
He's so popular now too, right? That guy.
Yeah, he's all of a sudden everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. That chick, Helena from the new movie, she didn't get one vote. Nobody wants to see a movie with her.
I don't know anything. I mean, I only know what you have told me. So.
Yes, when I reviewed that movie for you.
Exactly. Yeah. No, exactly.
Exactly. So let's see. So I got one more, and I think that'll eat up enough time that this could be considered a real episode.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't even think I'm going to have to do that talk real slow thing like I have to do sometimes to drag out the episode to get us to the time.
I have a little segment that we could do too.
Excellent. Because I want to make sure I covered all these polls because it's very important information that I've gathered from our Facebook group. So as you also know, I am a huge 1966 Batman fan. Adam West, Burt Ward, all the cast of many characters. And I really want to see Bruce Campbell as Batman and Jay Mewes as Robin in a movie based off the 66 characters, but they're both on drugs. Batman drinks a lot, takes a lot of pain medication because he's always jumping off buildings and shit. And Robin is on bath salts and methamphetamine. So he's always bouncing around and not making any sense. And you can throw coke in there too. What the hell? Let's get Robin all messed up. So like the bat phone rings and Robin just comes flying off the balcony, just jumps over and answers the phone real fast.
Well, I like the idea of Bruce and Jay being Batman and Robin, but I don't know if the drugs would be a great idea because like they've always been, sort of looked upon as heroes and role models.
Oh, they're still the heroes. Yeah, they're still fighting crime. Instead of though, like when they bust up the Penguin's heroin shop, they just tie it to the back of the Batmobile and take it back to the Batcave and put it in storage for when they run out of other stuff.
It's a good concept. There's a little work that needs to be done.
I just want to hear Robin go, Snoochie Boochies, Batman.
That would be cool.
Bruce Campbell could do no wrong in that role.
No. I just watched a movie with him and Stacy Keach, and I was reading about it. Hopefully we'll be able to reschedule Stacy Keach here in a couple weeks. The Man with the Screaming Brain.
Great movie.
So good, dude. It took Bruce like 9 years to get that made.
Yeah, but it's great.
It's so good.
What's the other one that I really love? My Name is Bruce.
My Name is Bruce, yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Like he goes to that town and it's got the, welcome Bruce Campbell and his name is spelled wrong. And he's like, couldn't even spell my name right on the banner.
I've probably given Bruce Campbell more money than any other celebrity at the Comic-Cons and shit. Like I have a couple different pictures with Bruce, a couple different autographs, and it's always like the quickest thing when you walk in. He's just I actually paid up at the Mahoning Drive-In in Pennsylvania. During COVID times, I went to see. There was a screener of Evil Dead 2, Bubba Hotep, and
another
Army
good
of Darkness. And he was there during the whole thing and with the Q&A and all that stuff. And we actually paid money to stand 6 feet away from Bruce Campbell to get our photo with him. Yeah, Bruce is awesome, man.
He strikes me as the kind of guy that would bring the Delta to the parking lot before like a Comic-Con and sell official bootleg versions of his movies out of the trunk himself. And everybody would just go, that guy looks a lot like Bruce Campbell. But it's really him just selling shit in the parking lot.
I'm pretty sure he was pretty drunk when I saw him at the Mahoning Theater. And he's always like, whenever you go up to get your photo with like another celebrity, they always like shake your hand, how you doing, this and that. Like you walk in and Bruce just goes, look cool. And then you're like, oh. Because he always looks fucking cool, you know what I mean?
He's Bruce Campbell. Like he's always impeccably dressed.
Yep.
He's got great style. I mean, if I had more money, then I wouldn't be fucking looking like a bum half the day.
Start going to Goodwill and get some old school suits.
You know who I need to talk to is Slobby Robbie.
Slobby Robbie, Arsenio Hall.
Yeah, he could hook us up with some kick-ass clothes.
Hell yeah.
he could get me one of them red Adidas jumpsuits like he's got with the little hat, big ass sunglasses.
We were at this flea market down here the other day in Florida, and my girlfriend picked up this bag and she was laughing. It was like, I said, that's a bootleg right there. It was, I can't remember the brand. It was one brand that had another brand like sewed into it. You know what I mean? It was two different brands together. It's like, that's a bootleg there.
Yeah. How can I pull that off? I could order t-shirts and then sew a different tag over the inside and be like, yeah, these are the real deal. These are Louis Vuitton Iron Maiden shirts.
Yeah, you could yeah, we'll come up with something.
Yeah.
We got to start bootlegging some more stuff.
We need bootleg is where it's at, man.
It really is.
Dude, I see all these companies on Instagram selling like t-shirts and they have copyrighted images on them.
Mm-hmm.
Like stuff from even to something stupid as You're Killing Me Smalls.
Yeah.
They don't have the right to sell that. That's not their thing.
I know. I was just looking at it's not, I don't know if it was on TeePublic or if it's on Teespring or where it was, but there's Beastmaster shirts on there.
No, I'm sure they're on TeePublic too.
Like Mark should be getting that money, or somebody that owns the rights to the Beastmaster should be getting that money, not whoever put that on a t-shirt.
I'm going to make a knockoff on where I spell beast with 2 E's. I'm going to write that down. And it's going to be like a different blonde dude with big muscles, and maybe have him riding like a fucking tiger. Or no, I have to be a lion. Yeah, I got to do a lion.
Have you ever looked really close at the cartoon image? A lot of people have been pointing it out lately on Instagram. It actually kind of looks like Donald Trump.
It's more of a cross between Mark and He-Man, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, so what's this cover supposed to look like? All right, He-Man, but not, with a hot chick and a panther. So he should hold the sword up like He-Man, right? I have the power, whatever the fuck he says. Yeah, that's great. And then they drew it up and they're like, well, we spent the budget already on that, so can't get a different one.
Yep.
And it's like, why didn't we just take a picture of Mark and put him on the cover?
Exactly. Why did you spend the money on this artwork?
This shitty artwork. Mark, he's standing right over there in costume, ready to do his next scene. Just take a picture of him. Tanya, go lay next to Mark. Hug his leg.
Who knows?
But we got new bootleg merch coming. I'll tell you that right now. I'll be hooking that up.
Sweet.
Maybe I could call it the Beat Master and make it like a beet. Like whatever that.
Like a red beet.
Like a vegetable. Wearing like the outfit with the sword. I could have a whole line of shit come out all based off of the beats, the Beat Master.
If we have any artist friends listening, we need your help.
The Beast Mister.
All right, right. Let's do. You got any more polls?
No, that's all I've done so far. I got to think up some more though.
All right.
The other, I will tell you, the other thing I do enjoy that I've been doing is guess the music video.
Yeah, I don't know any of those.
Yeah, well, it's crazy because people do know them. I'm like, ain't nobody gonna get this one, and they do, and I'm like, where are you people from that you can figure that out from that picture?
Yeah, just from a little picture. Yeah, head over to our Instagram page and our Facebook page. Ray's posting all this stuff over there.
Yeah,
a lot of good stuff. One little last thing I want to talk about here, Ray, before we go. A couple things. I was just at this BYB Extreme Fighting Series down in Miami. Went down to have a little meeting down there. The new featherweight champion is from your town.
Yes, sir.
Cleveland.
216. The land.
I want to tell you something, man. I've been to a lot of. I was never at an MMA event before. I've been to a lot of boxing fights, whatever you call them, boxing shows, wrestling shows. This was one of the most entertaining events that I've ever been to. They fight in a, I don't know if you can see my shirt here. It's a triangle. They fight in what's called a trigon. It's a triangle ring, and it's completely bare knuckle. They just tape right behind their knuckles, tape up their the rest of their hands and their wrists, and it is some of the most brutal shit I have ever witnessed. The heavyweight fight was one of the most intense fights I've ever seen in my life. These guys just went full bore at each other. And at the end of it, I mean, they're shaking hands and hugging, and they're all friendly. You know what I mean? It's so brutal. And at one point, like the guy that I went to meet is, I found out he's a big pro wrestling fan. And at one point during the show, after one of the champions had won, he's standing there talking, and the interviewer guy, he asks him, you know, if he's ready, if he wants to give the guy that he just fought a rematch. And right at when he says that, this guy comes in the ring and pushes the champion, and security goes crazy. Like everybody's like backing him up, and they get him out of the ring, and the crowd's booing and going crazy, and they carry him out of the ring, and like they're all like, whoa, what the hell was that? Blah blah blah. And I texted the dude. I was like, was that a work? Was that, in wrestling terms, work is fake? And he's like, no, that was real. I was like, holy shit. It's crazy. Like, dude, the guy he was not happy that guy won the belt.
Here's what I know. I watched some clips of this, and for those of you who are from Cleveland, that stuff looks exactly like a Friday night, 2:30 in the morning at Shooters down on the water in the flats here. That's what that reminds me of. That's why that guy won. He's probably done his Shooters beating the fuck out of people left and right every Friday night. That's his training. Yeah. That's how he trains. Goes down to Shooters, has a couple of beers, and just waits.
I text Ray and I was like, this guy's from Cleveland. He just writes back, he's gonna win. Mm-hmm. He did. He's the new champion. But yeah, that was awesome, man. And a lot of fun. Their next show's coming up next month in Biloxi. If anybody wants to check it out, BYB 20. Really, it was really entertaining. And then one other thing I just want to talk about is I've been watching.
Yeah, but we forgot to mention that guy's name. His nickname is Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, Slaughterhouse. What was his?
Brandon Burr.
Brandon Burr. Yeah, Brandon Slaughterhouse Burr. Yeah, from the 216.
Yep.
Yeah, he was a scrappy little dude, man. He could fight. Have you been watching anything lately, Ray? Watching any like series or anything you want to talk about?
I just finished Twisted Metal. I loved it. Sweet Tooth was amazing. Samoa Joe, absolutely fantastic. I would watch him all day long as that character with Will Arnett's voice, obviously. But you know, they had that whole other romance thing going on the show, and I'm just, more Sweet Tooth. Where is Sweet Tooth? I want murder and mayhem.
I've heard rumors spilling about the internet that there could be a spin-off series, Sweet Tooth.
There should be.
I've heard it. I've heard the rumor.
But
I don't think that I'm starting that rumor.
Why not? If we are, we are. Fuck it. I heard it too. There we go. And if we both heard it, must be a fact.
I'm pretty sure that I heard that somewhere.
And then,
or I just made it up.
And then, in anticipation of season 2 of Reacher, which I absolutely love, I just finished rewatching that series, which is also funny because the main character who plays Jack Reacher also played Thad on Blue Mountain State.
Okay. Yeah.
I know that means jack shit to you.
No, I remember that show.
But he's amazing. He is so fucking big.
Yeah, we started to watch that show. I don't think we got through that show.
And he's such a good actor. And at first you're like, I know this guy. I remember him from something. And then you snap and you're like, that's fucking Thad in the Pocket Pussy. That's Thad.
That was the show about football, right?
Yeah. Blue Mountain State.
High school football. Yeah, I remember that.
That's their college, and Thad's their team captain, and he's just a psychopath.
Okay. Was it a show or a movie?
It was 3 seasons.
Yeah.
I just binge watched that whole thing again too. It's
I
fucking
do
great.
remember that show. I do remember that.
So yeah, that's the 3 shows that I recently binged was Blue Mountain State, Twisted Metal, which I've already watched twice, and I just did Reacher again because I'm hoping season 2 comes along at some point because it was really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, Barbara actually just asked me about that if I knew anything about season 2. So we must have gotten through the whole thing. I'll have to rewatch that. Some of the things I've recently watched, man, the Terminal List. Have you heard of that one?
No, didn't somebody recommend that to us though? It sounds familiar.
Yes. You know what? You know where we heard it at?
JD that recommended that one to us.
No, we heard that from David Morrell.
Yeah,
Because the guy that wrote The Terminal List, the book The Terminal List, Jack Carr, whenever he does an interview, he always brings up David Morrell because he loved First Blood when he was a kid, and I thought David Morrell put detail into his books, man. Jack Carr, I read The Terminal List first. I listened to it, and then I watched the show, and I don't know. A lot of people told me that the book was a lot better than the show, and I agree. I do agree, but the show was really good also. Really good. With Chris Pratt, plays a Navy SEAL. He's a Navy SEAL team leader, and his whole crew gets wiped out, killed. And then it's like this whole plot to get him. Like it's crazy because like they tested all these drugs on his SEAL team, and the drug didn't work, so that's why they wanted to kill him off, and they set him up. They send him into this ambush basically where they knew they were going to get killed, and he goes on like a fucking one-man killing spree. And just tracks everyone down. Really, really good show. You know, from where Chris Pratt started, from where I remember him starting from on Parks and Recreation as like that goofy shoe shiner, to where he is now, a Navy SEAL, it's crazy.
He got jacked, man.
Real jacked.
It's like the dude that was on My Name Is Earl, Ethan Suplee. Have you seen that dude?
Yeah.
Like, there's half of him now.
Right.
And it's like, holy shit, that guy.
Yeah.
You know, you make enough money though.
Yep. Yeah.
You can pay somebody to knock a Snickers out of your hand.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. I mean, hopefully he didn't have to do that. I mean, hopefully he just put in the hard work and did that. But
I could just have a guy sit at my kitchen table and be like, hey, well, what are you going in there for? I thought I might get some fruits and vegetables out of the fridge. Yeah, we don't keep those in the freezer. Oh.
Well, you know, when Artie Lang was going through all of his drug troubles and stuff, he actually hired a police officer, one of his police officer friends, to sit in his apartment with him.
Yeah, the Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys did that with Michael Irving to try and keep him from being on the coke. So they had a dude that just followed him around all day.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of the Dallas Cowboys, have I told this story on the podcast yet about when I flew from Dallas to LA with Moose Johnston?
With Moose? I don't believe you told the full story.
All right. So, real quick, I noticed him boarding the plane, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's Moose Johnston." You know, his famous face. He was a commentator for years, and now he's the president of the USFL. I was like, oh, that's cool. I'll be on a flight with him, try to get my picture with him when we land or whatever. So I ended up sitting next to him from Dallas to LA on my flight. And he was real busy. Didn't really talk to him a bunch, you know. He showed me a magazine cover. I think one of the Cowboys was on a cover of a magazine, and he was proud of that. And then when we landed, he was putting all his stuff away, and I said, hey, I got to ask you, because our friend Bo Svensson, it was in the movie North Dallas 40, basically about the Dallas Cowboys. And I said, what do you think of that movie North Dallas 40? I said, my buddy Bo Svensson's in it. And he lit up, man. He goes, oh, the big blonde-headed dude. He goes, man, I've seen that movie I don't know how many times. He said, things were a little different when I got there, in '89, things were a little different. He said, but and he started chuckling, man. He said, one thing I'll tell you, I think the first week I was there, one of the old boys said to me, hey man, when you get your first paycheck and you're writing out your checks at the end of the month, whatever you do, don't write in the memo section for cocaine. And he was like, seriously? And he goes, yeah, ask me how I know. I guess the other old timer wrote it in the memo for cocaine and got in trouble for it. And I didn't even know that, but apparently Moose had a pretty bad cocaine problem.
Yeah. You give a guy enough money, he'll find something to spend it on.
Yeah, but that was a funny story. And I text all my friends in the wrestling group chat that I'm in, and I told them that I was sitting next to Moose, and one guy actually said, hide your blow. So he must have been aware of Moose's problem.
Nice.
Yeah, but one other thing I've been watching, there's a couple cool documentaries that just recently came out on the American Gladiators. There's one on Netflix that we're finishing up. Then there's another one that I want to watch that I started that is one of the 30 for 30, the ESPN 30 for 30 documentaries, which actually has the owner, the guy that created it, in that one. The one that I'm watching on Netflix now is really good. It has most of the gladiators in it, and they talk about like it was fucking crazy, man, the shit that they went through. There's no way that they would be able to get away with that stuff today. Like, they signed a contract at the beginning of the first season, and they never got a raise through. It started in '89 and lasted until '96. They never got a raise during that whole time. They actually went on tour like 120 days a year and did that around the country when they weren't on television. And they were like all addicted to pills and fucking drinking and having fun.
Yeah, I like how they could just ravage an average human being who was on the show. Just like, all right, the contestant will now try to put the footballs into the garbage can, but he'll have to get by nitro. Yep. And there's one guy on the back line, and the other's like right in his face, jacking this guy. And as soon as he spins around, the other guy comes out of nowhere and just fucking hammers him in the rib cage. It's like wham, shoulder to ribs. The guy's like throwing the ball still, and it's like, man, I would just say, get me to the next one. Give me that one where you shoot that little arrows, where there ain't nobody beating the fuck out of me.
Well, if you go back to when you watch the very first season, the pilot episode, some of the contenders are just as big as the gladiators. And then by the second season, they were like, no, you need to find smaller people for us because this is tough. Right.
Today on American Gladiators, Dave's a 46-year-old plumber from Idaho. And Sally cuts hair in her free time. Woo! And then they go out there and they get fucking humiliated.
Yep. Dude, the first season also was so funny. They had as the referee, it was an executioner.
Yeah, I love that show. I'd still watch it sometimes on Peacock, man.
Yeah.
They have a channel, I think, that just plays that nonstop all fucking day.
Yeah, every episode's on Prime, Amazon Prime. I was just looking at it today.
Yeah, I think that's on multiple things because it's so awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, but those are my recommendations, The Terminal List, and I recommend the book. Read the book, The Terminal List, and then watch the show and let us know your thoughts. And also the American Gladiators.
You're supposed to say, and let us know by leaving a comment down in the section below. Smash that like button.
Woo! That bell. Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, 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 motherfucker.
All right, Ray, what have we done here today, buddy?
You know what? We have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that we don't need no stinking guests to have a good time on this here show. But I'm really looking forward to getting our guests back. And with that, Casey, I will say, see ya.